Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on my Twitch. I wanted to say, I don't know why I wanted to say on Switch. I'm not playing on Switch. Uh, for some reason my brain thinks I am. My phone's Twitch app also thinks I'm not streaming yet. Give it 1 second. I am live, right? Yes, we're live. You're just being slow. I'm trying to pull up the chat on my phone. But in the meantime, welcome back to Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Sherlock Sholmes time. It's Sherlock Sholmes time. We've returned precisely at 10:10. There we go. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Even though there's no one here yet, but I don't care. We're going to get this show on the road. Dum dum. When we left off, we were investigating. My brain is having a hard time focusing with the music. When we left off, we were investigating this steamship. Because what's his name? What's his name? My friend. My best friend was murdered, and I don't even remember his name. Makostra. Makostra. That was his name. Makostra has been murdered, and we have to figure out who did it. Thank you, Makostra in chat. Wait, which one? Do I need to, like, adjust audio settings again? Okay, wait, I can't check this right now. Don't distract. Hold on, wait. You're distracting me, but it's fine. Hold on. Let me listen to a clip of it. Is that please? Okay, Jack, I don't know what you're talking about. You better not have just you're distracting me. The last group stream sounds fine, you fool. Okay, we're starting the game now. Bum, 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 bum. I swear, if he came in here just to, like, distract me and bait me into watching an pulling up an old VOD on my phone for 5 seconds and playing it into the mic. So what just happened? Hold on, history. A heavy head. That's interesting. So that's right. Inspector Hosonaga and I both have a heavy head. Hmm. So it's clear that these letters were written on the ink. I was not gassing you. You will not gas me. Well, I just listened to the audio on my phone and it sounded fine. So I don't know what's going on your end, but like you literally sounded like you are normal. It's the direct discussion Xenoblade stream where you can barely hear. I can barely hear like the rest of the where the audio was off balance. How is the audio balance now, by the way? It was the end of the stream that you were listening to? Huh, weird. Okay. Maybe I just got really loud towards the end of that stream. I don't know. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you said. Wait, what are we talking about? Clear that the letters were written on ink that was somehow spilled on the floor. Okay. They spelt out the Russian word for wardrobe. Oh, that's weird. I didn't connect that before. But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think? Well, maybe the killer doesn't know his name. He just knew there was someone in the wardrobe that he had to knock out. Either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last word, words, or word in Russian. Bum, 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 bum. Which begs the question of who did write it. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. I can hear. Yeah, Luke really did show up on his account titled Makostra just to say Makostra and then leave. Did we summon him back by saying the words Makostra? Makostra, 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 Makostra. 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint Makostra sound from the vents. Makostra sound. 1:30 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator. Makosi! What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. I think that's the first time I've actually said ventilator instead of just reading it as vent, because Among Us. Looking at his something writing on the page, it's impossible to believe, almost impossible to believe that he's gone. I'm a little scattershot today, my goodness. I've checked the history, I've checked the logs like 3 times. Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. Playing Ace Attorney on Valentine's Day? How pathetic are you? Dude, I've just been chilling in my room today. I took a me day today, singles day. I didn't go to any of my classes today. I just took a me day. I vibe. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san. We will. I don't know why I said that so unenthused. Yo! Oh, oh, oh! Josuke Part 8 in the back. Josuke Part 8 in the background. Jojo. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. Humph. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into ball and throw him into cold room. Phew. Into calm room. Phew. He's back guarding the door. He's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. Who's a message from pets off a bit, and Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes as of yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. Dude, if there's like a monkey that if this is one of those like the killer had a monkey that helped them commit the murder, I'm gonna be annoyed. Turnabout big top moment. Is there anything else I haven't like gone over already? I guess no. There's this. Monkey around. All the books provided for all the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. Neatly arranged, not like my mind. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh, yes. And you... Am I good? I don't know. I feel like I'm still, like... I feel like I'm just a little out of it today. But I've also got, like, a weird displaced energy, so... Making a short film in one day for like 12 hours is not something I would recommend. It's fun. I did that yesterday. I helped somebody and make our films for my final performance. It was fun, but it drained my brain resources for like the entirety of today. You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. Now what the hell do? I guess we'll talk to Hosonoka. Can we move? Yes. But we can't move to Pavlova's cabin, so where the hell are we supposed to be going? Can we finally sneak out of this area? Is the big guy gone? Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san! Seaman Stroganoff is gone! Strong enough? Stroganoff, not strong enough, although I feel like it's both puns. Date and place reminder pog. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, because that means we're going to the right place. Ugh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Oh god, new character? New character time? Did you hear that? Yeah, no, it's just new information. It sounded like someone singing. Oh my god, it's not a new character. It's the best character. I did it the great detective way. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely. Before that stringy knot crewman comes. It's Stroganoff, not stringy knot. I did it the great detective way. Oh my god. What a funny little man. What a funny little man. That Sherlock Holmes will return in Avengers Squid Game. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Susato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. God damn it. I suppose you're right. For Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port. In Hong Kong. Ooh. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? Are we gonna get to, like, see Hong Kong? Or is the case gonna, like, wrap itself up before we get there? We must solve this case. By ourselves, if we have to. Yes, we will. So, the suitcase is now open. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside. But according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her... Oh yeah, she wants me to not be in handcuffs? This is development. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Burya. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? What is that? What is the duffel bag? That looks out of place. Whatever. There's a plate on the floor. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. Ah, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san? It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish. She changes her mind on what I am and am not allowed to investigate every 5 seconds. First it's journals, then trash, but then, like, now she's... Whatever. We have no choice. Let's do it. Investigate the trash. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Shut up, Coleman. What? Why are you telling me to shut up? Are you... Susato is... Susato is 16. Oh, yeah, she will. She does have the Susato takedown powers, though. There are just a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Yeah, I kinda figured. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember, clearly remember that. All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door, in Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked over books in a fit of rage? Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here, too. Okay, the ship definitely, like, crashed, like, bumped into something and made everything go falling over. That seems like the obvious answer to me. What's with this teapot here? I'm just, like, chaining sentences together. Like, I was on that thought about the bookshelf, and then I just moved the mouse over here and, like, clicked that. And within the same, like, sentence and thought. What's with these homies knocking over books? I think the ship crashed into something. I don't know. It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are a very thirsty people. Or, because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. So weird. I feel like this is a very Herlock Sholmes conclusion to come to, buddy. Is it some of his influence rubbing off, maybe? There's a teapot on the table. Therefore, clearly, the Russians are excessively thirsty. I'm sorry for clapping into the mic. I get excited when I do this character voice. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? There's one of these next to the bed in Kazuma's. It's a bell cord that... Stop pulling the bell cord! We're supposed to be sneaking. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Let's investigate her clothing. Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry? I'm right here, yes. Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. No place like home. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know? Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Yeah, she must have, like, do they just let her take her frickin' animal out and wander around? I don't know. She's getting special treatment, dude. So this vent connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes. Although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a vent into another room. Ah, maybe it's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. Huh. That is also a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. I still don't know exactly what that is, but... Okay, what else is there even to investigate in here? I mean, this, I guess. The rules of passing. Had to keep her special friend a secret. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I'd imagine. It's probably with her. Like, neither of them are here, so... Is there anything in here that I haven't checked already? I wish this game had, like, Danganronpa, like... Oh, I can tab and see all the clickable things. But that would probably be a little too easy for... Who's good? Okay, I think I've just actually clicked everything in here already, except this. This cabin door is the same sort of simple bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from the inside. Yeah, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside. And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through the crack around the closed door, either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. It's me, Ryunosuke not Obama Hoda. So, do we leave now? I don't know what to do here. Like, I think we've examined everything. I guess we'll just leave. Or not? Hold on. Oh god. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes. Look. Wow, you never know where he's gonna turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Tra-la-la-la-la, la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, lila-lila-le, la-la-la-la, lila-lila-le. Tra-la-la-lila-lila-le, I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, oh my god, it's lucky her luck was about. I did it my way. Oh my god. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. I wonder, was this a different song reference in the original Japanese dialogue? That's Mr. Sholmes! What is it? You want to fight? Hmm? Bring it on! Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing. And I was just about to reach the climactic finish! Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is as good a time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks! Discombobulate! Oh my god. Iconic! Where did... I don't know where my water bottle cap went. There it is. So iconic, I'm like losing stuff. Alright, I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away? I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes. That. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewmate who's usually on guard here. Oh, yeah, the ship's log. And did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank, which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so. You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Herlocky? Sorry? Your logic. Excuse me. Ugh. Ugh. Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall soon become clear. Shall become clear. There's no soon. It would seem the same crewman off stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report. Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. By that I mean your court record. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is. I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes. Brilliant! Ah! Ha! Ooh! Ouch! Oh! What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason, and nothing more. Did the ship, like, crash into something and make everyone just conk their heads on a wall? Like, is that the big reveal of this case? Well, my friends, until our next encounter, my friends, the end is near, and so I raise the final cut. There's something wrong, Susato. You seem lost in thought. It's just, well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache myself. Herlock has canonically, so a sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? My friends, I'm eating soap. Herlock singing My Way in turn of the century 50 years before Frank Sinatra was like wrote that song sung that song is iconic. Can we like leave this area now? Can we finally go to the rest of the ship? Damn, no. I'm tired of investigating the same 3 rooms, dude. Did he take the ship's log? Where did it go? What? Okay. They go back in here. Emergency meeting. Actually, though, shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile fore. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact. The megaphone removes the Russian accent. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Whoa! What the hell? Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think. Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No. I'm fine. Uh-oh. Hello! Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance! Oh, that sounds like... Oh. Hello! Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance! That's the voice I should have been doing. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Huh? We just got a clue! We just got a clue! So the door bolted because the ship, like, moves. So, like, the door might not have been bolted when the actual murder happened, and then the ship, like, did a crazy swerve in the middle of the night, and the door rebolted. That's my theory, anyway. How did... And look at all the books, and that's what knocks over the books! Yeah! Okay, that's definitely what happened. Now, Rahodo-san, aren't you going to let the door open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. To be continued. But of course we're going to keep playing, because, game fun. And we've only been going for like 30 minutes. My way! The great detective way. 9th January. SS Buria. Let's go. Somehow the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted. Okay, this is... Susato-san took a deep breath and slid open the bolt. Oh, God. You! What are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yeah, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship? Yes. It appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos! Passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere! And yet for some reason I'm in here annoying you! This first-class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. That's because every passenger who lives here is either dead or a stowaway. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black! You are the devil! Sorry? Me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case! How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. Or a dead stowaway. Wait, there's no dead stowaways yet, though. Hopefully. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes. Arrest this man! I know he did it! He is a criminal! It is not enough that he is killed. Oh my god, is her pet dead? Ah! And he is stowaway as well! If Vixen promises to not to steal chicken, do you believe? The girl is also a stowaway. Okay, whatever. Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away. Trespassing. Killing! She is right. You are devil. I will dropkick this girl, dude. That is sail below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. Then why did the frickin' Russian princess girl ask you to arrest me? After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Well, I'm not getting a converse option. And I'm not getting a leave option. I somehow doubt we shall be able to leave here. So... Miss Pavlova, can I get out? Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission, but get out now! We just needed to investigate in here to help understand what happened to... Oh, it gets no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will. Hosonaga? You've got yourself in a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue. Holmes! Holmes, where are you, buddy? Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la! La-la-la-la-la-la! Your savior is here! Ah! He's here! He's here! Let's fucking go! What is he doing? What is he doing? Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la! I did it my way! What the? What are you doing up there? Oh my god. Iconic. Incredible. What is he wearing? Mr. Sholmes! Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective it is my business to know what other people do not? Ah! This This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy! Oh, no, no! Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend, that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Brag and bounce. So full of brag and bounce. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again. The great detective. Ah, Inspector! I confess I've been looking for you. Two great minds converging into one. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is it to report? Speak! This guy's gonna save my ass, dude. Sherlock Holmes! Sherlock Holmes! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. I clicked autoplay. I didn't want to do that. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Burya, has been solved by me, naturally. Notice how you got 5 viewers once Sholmes shows up. It's the power of Sherlock Holmes. This is Avengers Squid Game. Sherlock Holmes will win. I'm surprised nobody has commented on the goofy ass stream title. That's why I have to do it myself. I titled the stream Sherlock Holmes will return in Avengers. Sherlock Holmes will return in Avengers Squid Game to solve the case. Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. It's a goofy ass stream title. A goofy ass stream title for a goofy ass man. This character is incredible, Casey. So allow me to illuminate all your minds. I think you showed up just in time for a great deduction. Let's go! For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired deduction. Great deduction to the case. I forgot one great. Ha! You have solved it. Even the hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal with K in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the... But it wasn't! But it wasn't! That's the lore! That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Sonic? What about Sonic? Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Da! Locked room! That is point! There's a lot of characters in here right now. If every character that's in this case is standing in this room. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Minus Iyasa. I said everyone in this case. As far as I know, Iyasa Nosa is not in this case. If he is, that would be a Pog, though. Oh, yes. There is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin, despite the bolted door. Ryunosuke, have you ever heard of Among Us? The killer vented. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The vent, man. The vent. Gah ha 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 ha. But this is not Among Us. No one could have gotten through that vent. I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cannon to a vent. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the vent. You could say they saw him venting. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dead from the vent. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. I love the new punching animation, dude. You can't spell Among Us without us. Happy Val. You can't spell Among Us without us. Happy Valentine's Day! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. Discombobulate. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Here! Ah! What is happening right now? What? Snake. Oh. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band! A snake. Indubitably. We're all just like, what the fuck? Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hmm? Yeah, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? Oh my god. God damn it. You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? With meme case. I think perhaps it is time I explained the intricacies of my train of thought. Help me, I am slowly losing air and blood flow. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. I will dropkick you into the wall. Number two, I will dropkick you if you interrupt me again. Number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No! Yeah! Get freaking dropkicked. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi. I am losing air and blood flow. If you interrupt me again, Mrs. Pavlova, I will cut off your fingers and staple them to your head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Let's go. It's deduction time. Topic 1. Intruder among us. Dun, dun. And their identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. The whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel. Was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night, please stop biting at me, Snakey, on the night in question tell of a speckled band. I'm going to close my eyes and pretend he doesn't exist. Whereas, regrettably, that one was a close one. This specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. Damien, the writhing serpent we see among us. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. That has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Dun dun dun. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin! That's why he spotted it. He's trying so hard to make this still work. He got so excited about finding the snake and the fact that it was the wrong color or like the wrong patterning. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No? Please, yes, that's right? Last night, through the vent visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend vented next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman, who was about to lose his life, as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it slows its skin. Yes? Yes. Yes. Right? Okay, cool. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. We both, Jack, you and I are both obsessed with this character and doing this voice. But I would want to hear your version if we ever did a group playthrough of this. Because you can hear my version right here. Topic 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? I don't know why I started singing there, and why. According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. That is not correct? In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom! 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 Not venom! I can't remember that. Now, if we take that as fact, venom, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no! Could there be? Oh my god. He's gaslighting her into... He's literally gaslighting her into thinking that her snake did do it. That's so funny. Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This. This makes no sense. There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Vent! Among us! Indeed, you put the serpent through this vent and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny this snake has undergone such training? It's not true! Having slithered through the vent and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once, and its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Conclusion. Death by venom. Never know what hit 'em, but time to go get 'em. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible. You've solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Sherlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an option, Mr. Sholmes? Ha ha! Vent! Sorry, what were you saying? Uh, but of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Why is this the one that she is noticing the flaws in, and not all the other far more ludicrous ones? I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madame. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah! It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Oh, that's why she knows. Snake, where the fact is red milkies. Snakes have no. That's why she knows. That's why she can unprove this deduction, because she knows a bunch of stuff about snakes for some reason. Ah! Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal to a snake by whistling. But, Madame, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. Casey out here knowing even more about snakes than this guy. No hands, no feet, no ears! These creatures are so inept to be practically useless! Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Schultz. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder! Harder! Beast Sholmes. Please don't be angry with me, mistress. He's so upset, dude! The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. God damn it. But the snake was so sus! I mean, who just brings a snake aboard a ship? I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Holt is just like standing in the corner like, I'm sad now. Yeah, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. Hello, Mario. Hello, Mario. So cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Round 2. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Dum 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 dum. Topic 1. Intruder's identity. Miss Pavlova. Okay, wait. I'm going to get some water before I start solving the deduction. Hold on. It's time for Herlock Sholmes to own Sussy Bockers with logic and reasoning. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. The whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yeah, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly. Is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. There's a claw scratch, that is what she's in pain from. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look! That looks to be a very painful wound. Looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. Fairly recently, too. These segments are so good. Being able to, like, scan the whole body, like, rotate stuff around, it is clear. You're right, Jack, when you said it's clear Shu Takumi had a lot of fun with this whole setup of these segments, and also this character, of Herlock Sholmes. So, is awesome. Probably one of the best Ace Attorney characters, just period. What else is causing her pain? There's something else? What else is causing your pain right now? I don't know what is causing your pain right now. Yeah, they use, like, limited, like, 3D stuff. Aching heart. Wait, why is this another clickable thing? She really does look troubled. Yeah, it's hard to believe she's putting on that expression to fool us. But if you look closely... God, I love the charming 3D they used in... God, I love the limited 3D. Love, God, the limiting, charming 3D... Stop, what are you doing? At what, do you think? Perhaps something's physically caused. Yeah, I know, okay. We'll just present this. There's no other text.
Yes!
Hold it! What you know about rolling down in the deep, when your brain goes numb and trying to... Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Sometime last night. Ah! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death? So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Aha, as I suspected. Another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent, we see. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. This is where she's looking at right now. Okay, painting. She's got a cat. Yeah, I don't... What? Look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true, but personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. There's a little cat, Miss Pavlova, and... Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san? For the blackest outfit? A black kitten. And from the look... Now, okay, if you look at these outfits, the cat is clearly blacker. Miss Pavlova seems very... Okay, so it's yes! The cat. Present the cat. Herlock, he observes two things and then gets, like, incredibly excited and stops paying attention to everything else. And that's why his deductions are wrong. Like, he'll find 2 clues and be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then he has to tell everybody about it. It's amazing. Without a doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes! The scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Clearly. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear. But what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ugh! Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observation on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, that cat is not speckled at all. Oh my god. His deductions are often references to the old Sherlock Holmes books. I'd imagine there's lots of, like, cool, fun references buried in this character's dialogue. What explanation can we give then, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? What? Wait, did you type Dark Knight and it did an emote? Hold on. Okay, it didn't do it when I typed Dark Knight, so it's dark. $1K. $1K. This is my D&D character. This is nonsense. I'm gonna keep playing the game. No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden in behind your back. How are you doing the cat emote? What is that? What's happening? Yes. It's funny though, because the emoji is a black... Oh wait, no, that's Batman. Okay, my brain thought that was a, black cat, and was just like, oh, Brian's dancing with the cat. How cute. Well, I didn't think you miss emojis. Okay, my phone, it's very small on my phone screen. Paying attention to the game now. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one never would have ever known. Shut! Ah, yes. Ploys like that are Mr. Sholm's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was a specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy, too. Anyway. If I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. Because it's not the skin of a snake. Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? Seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort? That looks like a handle at one end? I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort of thing is common in the West, apparently. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Oh, it's that kind of speckled band. Dark Fortnite. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. For reference to what I was talking about, Dark Knight is my Batman-esque D&D character. Which is why I guess when you type in... Is it capital Dark, capital Night that does that? Yeah, okay, now I see. Now I see how the emote works. But his name is not, it's a common... My character's name doesn't have the extra K, so it's fine. I'm getting distracted again. Let's present the cat's toy.
Yes!
That kind of looks like that battle pass. Wait, what? Wait, that doesn't even make sense. I saw that and I read it in we got a #1 Fortnite victory, Roy! I've lost 2 viewers since I started talking about Fortnite. Yes, the thing that you were trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely! And the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Sure, a moment. And it was this toy that you dangled through the vent. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the vent into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Kiag! A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. Nice. Photograph added to the court record. It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up to the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared. Through the vent. You Shut up. Darka, she is so naughty. Naughty, naughty kitty. A beloved kitten. Solved! Topic 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Death by a venomous snake's bite. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. Russian does not equal Montique. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data of which I have been appraised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by terrible venom. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. God, I love the limited kittens they used for this game. It's so Discord. Stop it! Why are you turning a random message you sent into like... There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. But Mr. Sholmes seems unaware of that very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so, right? He wasn't poisoned, right? Yeah. I don't know why he thinks... I don't know why he thinks he was poisoned. Hold on, where's the, Where's the medical thing? Yes! Medical thing. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem reports. Ah yes, I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganov isn't some immortal freak, you know. The, like, deject, the, like, slouch, this... He just appears on screen with this freaking slouching... This is a meme. Look at this. You got the dude with his face wrapped up in the snake, him over here like, ugh, and then him like, yes! I figured it out. This is chaos. I'm screenshotting this. Entire screen. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good... Get out of here. Get out of here. Wait, hold on. Save. Yeah. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. You got a little sneak peek at my D&D folder. God, I love the limited memes they used for this game. It's so moggers. You idiots! They stop doing this. Ah! We can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? I like that she said, oh no, could there be? Which she fully knows that the snake is not hers. Like, that's how strong Sholmes' powers of gaslighting are. God, sorry if you just heard me drink that water. God, I love the pics that Go Hard they used for this game. Feel free to screenshot. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose. It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though. God, I love the limited Kazuma they used for this game. It's so Mia. Shut up. You're gonna make me like... you're gonna make me like run out of breath from all this laughing. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. I don't even know what I'm trying to, like, do. An examination of the... Wait, what am I even doing? Hold on, you guys are distracting me with this freaking joke. A bad fall. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? The badge! Wait, what? Okay, what does this say? Something... The victim that was almost strong. Below the area. Is it this? I don't know what else it could be. Hold on, let's try this. Mark on 4. Yeah. Yeah. An examination of the mark on the 4 will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Polish these nuts! And the color of the polish is the perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason... Did he actually just accidentally fall and die? Is that the... What? And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlov? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death. That's not... I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and fell? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the 4 does seem to suggest that's what happened. Couldn't we figure that out ages ago? Like, why did it take us this long to... But, it seems too easy. And if this part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? But why would she be trying to hide evidence of that? There's some more sussy stuff going on here. The tiara, maybe? Somebody appears to have dropped 20,000 rubles. It hasn't been dropped, Naruhodo-san. It's been placed. I'm starting to sound like Mr. Sholmes. Stop trying to sound like the great detective. Okay, let's check the case then. This is where Miss Pavlova hid her friend. That's right. And it wasn't a snake after all. No, it was that little kitten she calls Darka. Not that it's anywhere to be seen now. No, Jack! I didn't hear about China. It seems to have let itself out of the case and gone exploring. I expect it's... Ah! I didn't mean to... I held the button down. Okay. I expect it's wrapped itself around someone's head, so either it's scratching there. Okay. What the hell is she trying to hide? Maybe it's something in the tiny waste bin. Maybe it's something in the little waste bin. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Jack, that was mid. Trying to fit these balls in your mouth? That mid. You really fell off. You have a lot of hit jokes, but this one was mid. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. But there is something in there. What about broken glass? But how do I just present the basket? Okay, I guess I just present the, get out of this.
Yes!
You forgot the God. Joke ruined. It's supposed to be God. I love the mid jokes Jack used for this stream. It's so charming. You failed. I'm sorry, but you failed this joke. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Baskin those nuts. That also... His worked better. Baskin these nuts in your mouth. It's just fucking... You can just... I'm gonna... Do I need to ban the word nuts from chat? No, then you'll just say balls. What am I talking about? Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of the blah 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 in the... And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. So, Miss Pavlova, why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? Kia! You're well acquainted with this glass spell, aren't you? I don't know. In that hush Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo! Yeah. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be the picture, right? The bell on the cat's neck.
Yes!
And no, Jack, Joe Mama is not in this case, and neither is Joe Biden. If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka! So we just, like, busted open the case, sexual style, goated with the sauce. That was not what I was gonna say. We just busted the case like detective show style with no need for a trial, right? Haha, Biden my nuts in your mouth. Haha. That doesn't even that's not you wrote bidden. Bidden my nuts in your mouth. Neither work, but I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. So I'm guessing busting these nuts in your mouth. So I'm guessing there's not death by tripping over a cat. Holy crap. That's that's a weirdly anticlimactic resolution. And there's clearly not going to be a trial here. Which now explains why the first trial was so obscenely long. I feel like this case was actually probably about as long as the last one. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. Yeah, investigation only case, totally. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats became very anxious and nervous in new environments. Investigation only case to give some focus to new best character Herlock Sholmes. Yeah, it makes sense. Because I feel like he would not be doing as much in a trial. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it? Yes, and I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed a Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again? By dangling the end of the toy through the vent and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. I do like the irony, though, that we did this, like, crazy detective show deduction closing moment. But what actually happened is incredibly simple. Cat escapes room, goes through vent into other room, person trips on cat, person dies. Like, after last case's complicated ass murder method, you're just like, I was just like theorizing and expecting all this complicated stuff to be going on. But like, it really wasn't that complicated. Unless there's like a whole nother set of things we don't know about. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burya is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. Oh, and if the ship, like, rocked at the same time, he may have thudded extra hard, so... An unfortunate accident. Like, there was no murder involved. No trial is necessary here. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself, at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship? He's like trying to calm the snake down. Oh, I didn't say. A snake is my friend. His name is Perosko. Oh my god. He probably said. We just couldn't hear him because the snake was wrapped around his head. Oh my gosh. Ah. How many murders do you think that cat will get? And will they exceed the Thinker Cock from the first game? Hopefully not. Hopefully only one. Poor cat. His name is Perosko. The Tinker. What? That snake belongs to you. My good man, if you had said that the whole time. He escaped from cage when the emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ah! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Perosko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny. It's venomless. Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous! Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Perosko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah. Oh. So, is that what the mousetrap in the passageway is out there for? Of course! How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. And it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. I love that the snake is a complete red herring. Not even relevant at all. There's just a freaking sussy big old snake on board, and it's not. My Perosko is nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. It's so stupid, it doesn't even sound real. Everybody's just kind of like, really? That's what happened? What the fuck? Miss Pavlova, I understand the difficult situation you've found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. Wait, what? The owner of that snake grew up to be the ancestor. master of the red herring from Pup Names. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. Unless... I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? There was a murder? To be perfectly honest, yeah. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. Well, there's the whole, like, locked door mystery thing that doesn't... I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Why did you put them back on? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? He was rushing. Are you rushing, or are you dragging? The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yeah. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. What if Terrence Fletcher from Whiplash was in this game instead of Susanoo? Ryunosuke, are you rushing or are you dragging? If you deliberately sabotage Kazuma's career, I will fuck you like a pig. Is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, let's see what I can do. There's not a fucking Mars bar down there, Ryunosuke. Did you kill Kazuma? Yes or fucking no? Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the vent. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Was that Sherlock? Was that... No, that was my Holden. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Right, because the writing that said wardrobe. Somebody did that. Why would somebody just do that? Okay. Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Where's the thing? This.
Yes.
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. Look at this photograph. There's no way that Mr. Asagi could have written this on the floor. That's script. It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor, and the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything, because he was already dead. Oh! That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So, Susato-san has noticed it too, then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence. Where was this again? This was like... the keep out slip. Wasn't it like... wasn't it like on... was it on the door? I don't remember. I don't know if that's the evidence or not. Hold on. Okay. Is it this? Hold on. Hear faint whistling smell. Looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from there. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. Something else in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. Remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. Is it this? I may be getting a strike here, but we're gonna try it. What point are you trying to make with that evidence? I'm starting to see how Kazuma's death really happened. I think that you were starting to see nothing of the sort, and that was the evidence to prove it. Ugh. Yeah, I was not confident on that one. Either the absence of something you would expect to find at the scene of an accident, or the presence of something you wouldn't. Okay. Most compendiously put, my dear madam. I confess your rather languid I see doesn't fill me with confidence, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you. Or, well, more than Sholmes does anyway. The bell... No, it's not the bell, because the bell is from... the bell was on the cat. So, like, that tracks. Something that either should have been there or something that shouldn't have. Hold on. That wasn't in there. The speckled band, maybe? Hold on. Let me examine some of this evidence and see if there's like... Well, okay, where did we find these newspapers? I feel like one of them was in his room? I don't know. Was this one in Kazuma's room? If I check this text, it might. I don't know what Mr. Sholmes' article is about a dancer. Blah 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 blah. The badge! No. Something that wasn't there. Or something that should have been there. Is it this? See, it could be the lack of a report from 2 a.m. But that, like... If that's the case, then having the dialogue about stuff being in the crime scene is weird. Okay, just frick off with this dialogue. The absence of something you would expect to find at the scene of an accident, or the presence of something you wouldn't. Not that one. Hold on. Where's the autopsy? No obvious external injuries. I mean, he wouldn't necessarily have to have...
Yes.
Okay, no, I did... Yeah, hold on. If it's the... Frick off, yeah. No, yeah, sometimes... If it's the, like, report from outside, then that's the game's fault for giving me really misleading dialogue. Because they're talking about, yeah, right there in Kazuma's cabin. So it's not the logs, it's not the ship's logs from outside. It's something that was in the cabin. I guess we'll try this. This is the only one I haven't done yet that would make any sense. What? God, I love the limited Coleman rage of this game. It's so epic. Is it not? Okay, what is it? One of those newspapers? None of this other stuff was like in his room. Or like specifically wasn't in his room. I mean, unless they're trying to say like the bell, to go back to the bell earlier, it's the fact that she came in and took the bell. But didn't we already establish that she did that to like cover up the accident? Like, that doesn't prove that this wasn't an accident. Wait, but why... Okay, why is there one half of the bell in here, and the other half in the other... Okay, wait, that actually doesn't make... I think it actually is the bell. Hold on. This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. Sorry, I keep adjusting the volume. What? If that's really what happened. Then how did one half of the bell... Yeah, why would she bring one half back and throw it into the trash can? The second I think about it, for more than a second, it, like, stops making sense. Yes, remember that we found the other half of that glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh, no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, I don't know if there was someone else in the room. I mean... The second evidence is a support evidence that indicates there's something sussy going on. The big one is the first one, which what even was the first piece of evidence? Like, what? My brain's a little fried. That the same person deliberately arranged the scene to... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like she left half the bell there to, like, mess with the thing. But she didn't do it very well, did she? Yes. There was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's... You are wasting time. Someone else was there. Duh, of course, we know this. Why does this guy have a hold it, dude? You're not supposed to have a hold it. Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. And only other person when young students died was you. It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow, I'm being a distraction again. He's so neurodivergent. As I was saying, The person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then, that same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light on the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. Fragment of... You all suspect me, don't you? Bruh, why is this guy throwing out these hold-its? Calm down, horny seaman Stroganov, dude. Horny seaman. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join the ballet company. Oh, wait, maybe it's not horny. She's his daughter. Maybe. But before, she was dancer on this ship. A member of ship's band. That's why she's getting special treatment. Okay. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when the young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? Humph! You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in the eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could get into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible. Ugh, he's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the inside. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so Susato-san, how could you shift onto me like that? Maybe she used the cat? Maybe she used the cat. Okay, well, you missed this. I think you missed this earlier, Kirk, but it's been established already. Like, it was established right before everybody showed up. This is literally an emergency meeting. The alarm goes off. Every character in this case ends up in this room, and now we're doing Among Us. Like it's trained. See, no, the thing is, she didn't even need to use the cat, because right before we came in here, it was established. I'm pretty sure these doors can slide unlocked when the ship, like, jolts around. So I think that's how she got in. That or the door slid itself locked after she left, and so, like, it just conveniently helped her out. I don't know. So Seaman Stroganov has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? I mean, I don't know what the method is outside of shaking the entire ship around. But I feel like there's probably a more refined method to do it. We've seen it happen. Indeed we have! So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that it's the books falling over. It's not the books falling over? Why can't I click on them? Or do I just present it? I don't know. Look at the bookcase there. Okay, cool. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe... Yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah, it was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before. It's funny that this is like the last piece of evidence we're solving right now, because this is the first thing I noticed before the emergency meeting even started. Was like, oh, well, that explains how the killer got in and out. That was the one flaw of the accident thing that I was noticing from the beginning. I'm like, if it wasn't an accident, what was the point of all the locked door crap? We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. Or we had bolted the door? We hadn't bolted the door, but then it got bolted. Hello? Is anybody in there? Yeah, when that happened, the door was bolted. Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asogi was killed, get out of here, Steam notification. The door locked itself. A stroke of luck. The SS Burya made another emergency stop. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yeah, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? How did none of us wake up from the emergency stop? This must have been like a stealth one that somebody did. Are you out of your mind? You say Burya made emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room? Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm. But if the emergency alarm had gone off, we all would have woken up with the wah, wah, emergency meeting, wah. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait! It was you? When the button is pressed... Oh my god. Did he press the button to, like, make the ship stop? Did he call the emergency meeting? Oh my god. When the button, not the one last night, but like the one that's happening right now. When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interests of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. This guy pressed the button, dude. Herlock, please. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. Oh my god. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. I mean, gathering us all together did kind of help solve the case in a weird roundabout way. And it also gave us, like, the vital piece of information about the door locking. Like, we probably would never have figured that out if he didn't... We probably would not have figured it out if Herlock didn't go, like, kid with, like, ADHD kid mode and, like, press the button as soon as he saw it. How dare you mess with ship! I report you to Captain! You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, it's almost like it's a class trial. It really... Yeah, it's a class... This is the most Danganronpa Ace Attorney case. Did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not? You are idiots! Boya is huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in the middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere! What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence proves the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? The lack of any report after 2 a.m.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? Da! That is correct. Why? And the ship's log here. That would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine! Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose! That is where I put it always! The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log. Security was down, you might say. That is, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Indeed so. Which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Burya. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed? That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. Okay, whatever the answer is here definitely has something to do with the everybody's headache bit. Like, I've already figured that out. What of the throbbing? The throbbing cock. Sorry? What do you mean throbbing? Your head, man. Get your head out of the gutter. The throbbing of your head this morning. Since this morning, we have all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. My head's been throbbing today, too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And had the handcuffs. Why didn't I wake up when all of that was happening to me? Somebody give them, like, sleeping pills, I'm sure. Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. Well, what did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes. In fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? Kazuma didn't eat anything. That's why he was awake and got murdered. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all. That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh! Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No. Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who had consumed it. A sleeping drug. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. As in, that's lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator! What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Seaman. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. Yeah. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Oh. Oh. Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Me is Tai-Tai. Me too. I'm gonna finish this case and then I'm wrapping up. Have a nice night. Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. Also, happy birthday, Jack, because it is now past midnight. Good night and happy birthday. Happy 21st. We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping dog in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Da! We could not make old drug. How do you say? Dissolve. Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. He was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS Burya said, so they were drugged. They were all drugged in order to bring her on board. I see. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Wait, so did they make 2 emergency stops? One to let her on, and then another one to frickin' lock the door? But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten chicken, after which they would have been overwhelmed with tiredness. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Hopefully. I mean, they probably made sure everyone went to their cabin. Yeah. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, and so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin on this ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. Holy crap. What an elaborate way to, like, create this ruse. I figured she just got lucky, man. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But... People are leaving the stream. It's getting late. I don't know about any of this. I am just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. There was no reason for her to murder him. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long-boarded stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we only trust what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about, you stupid man? I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Please let me be right this time. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow. Observation? Wait, did he say something else? Of these two, yeah. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. Oh, good. So he's just asking us to help with the deduction rather than... I was worried we were going to have to go through the whole text of it and then, like, go through the whole thing of it again. But he's just asking for our help now. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Rotation. Left ear. What? Okay, wait, hold on. There's like a thing on his shirt. There's an ink stain. Yeah, what the hell? Oh, look at this. Some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. And look at the color, too. It's clear where this came. Oh, evidence he was there. What's this left ear thing? Why is this something I can click? I mean, it's got her earring, but, like... She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair. Like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears. Earrings! Is this like a new concept to him? Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Okay. I don't know what the point of that is. It's on her right ear, too. Is there unique dialogue for her right ear? She said... Chunky arms. Okay, we know what it is. No more wasting time.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. It's, So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain? What are you trying to say? It's purple dirt. Does that not make sense? No, it would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform, and I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. I love these, like, 2D portraits they have during these segments. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Definitely makes, Herlock Sholmes hotter, in the portrait. Alright then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is. Where's this thing?
Yes!
Crime scene photograph. Yes, it's this photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink? A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ugh! Ah! The penny drops. At last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means... you must have been present in the cabin at the moments immediately after the ink was split. Wow, so he's like a full-on co-conspirator. Alright. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. Or did he just do the whole murder? What? I arranged everything in Dead Student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Burya do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. So it was her, he just helped her cover it up. Biff, please. Beef, please. It's beef. Beef stroganoff. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then an angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What? What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told me. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Wait, so it was an accident then? Kind of? He just helped cover it up? Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. So basically, I was right initially. She did write all that stuff down there to like cover everything up, and like she walked in afterwards and then did all this. That was my initial assumption. I just didn't realize he was complicit. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? I feel like he thinks it was an accident because that's what she told him, but I already told you. When Nina opened door of student cabin and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Duh? Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. That's a bit saucy. I understand, and I believe you. You do? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma? Ah! Something very neatly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. Rather impressive photography work, isn't it? The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated, that's right, these events, a kitten, on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. I didn't notice it before, but what do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well, Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck. Which part of this photograph? I do not know. I mean, the finger? Oh, look at that. I mean, the finger, I guess, but they just moved his hand there to write that. That's not sus on its own. Hold on. Let me look at the court record for a second. The speckled band. Something about this photo. Okay, wait. If he slipped... I'm about to get some strikes, dude. If he fell, it would have been back... Well, wait. Okay, hold on. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking it has something to do with the way he fell. So you're probably right about that. If he fell, it would have been, because that's a scrape of the shoe. The scrape of the shoe positioning doesn't really match how he landed. I also don't know, even if we are assuming he had to have fallen back first, like, where on the body would I even click to like indicate that? Why is his fist clenched? Okay, wait, that's kind of odd. Let's try that. I'm not. Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. God, this case is tense because normally in the trials, when you get it right, the music, like, stops. But the music is not stopping in this not trial. So, like, in a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? Why didn't he present that evidence ages ago? Okay, alright. And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us! Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? Yes, you absolutely would, and you already have. So that's why he came to the... Okay, if he found that, why the hell did he think the snake slithered it in there? Dude, come on. Put the clues together. But now I understand why he was so sure she did it, though. This is what I found. Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. It looks familiar because it's one of her earrings. I already did the ear check earlier. Ear check! Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be? That is the final clue. The last piece of the puzzle. I gave it to you right at the end because it thought it would be more cinematic that way. I'm annoying like that. Okay, left ear. Or right ear. Why does she have different earrings, huh? Huh? Why does she have different earrings? Huh? Huh? Why does she have different earrings? Huh? Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, this is the same text. Let's move on.
Yes.
Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear, even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to... Oh, okay. It's the same earring, but that part came off. The little link holding it on must have been broken, I suppose. Eh? What? But looking at your other ear, I notice a crescent moon. Huh. I don't believe it. So he thought it was... So the Beef Stroganoff thought it was an accident and was just trying to, like, save her ass. But it wasn't an accident at all. The missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. Oh. He's sad. He's like, oh, she killed him on purpose. What the hell? Why did I help her? But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no! Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. There was no reason to murder him! That is what he's gonna frickin' say to her. If that dialogue, if any dialogue, if no reason to murder him appears in his dialogue, I'm going to laugh my ass off. What did you do to Kazuma? Ugh! Shit! When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it it was too much. Wait, who is saying this? Okay, yeah, it is her. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship, and then when I was at the last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible long day. Darka, wait! I feel like it might have. Like, I'm wondering if it was still an accident, but there was like a struggle. I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the vent. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. I like this song. Knock, knock. Oh, and he was actually awake. If no one had been awake, she would not have been able to get in there, but because he was awake. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Wait, what? Inspector? Oh, this is not the... I don't... I... Oh. Sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country. He was very polite. And kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again and I was going to leave the man's cabin... Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Ah, of course. You're Nikolona Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina? Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at that moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. And then he opened the cupboard and... He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. No, he was just going to ask Ryunosuke for his opinion. Oh, god damn it. She freaked out. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then... Meow! Daka just jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And... as he turned around to look at me... Oh, he fell. She pushed him. I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at the cabin door, shaking like a leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me. Help me, Biff. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nino was there. But I missed the earring because it was in his fist, yeah. And then I found Story in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. Sad, vaguely Russian music. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Sadostan started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged the young man's body to good place and used ink that was spitting to write on the floor. I wrote, "Little on the light," so that person who found him would look inside the wardrobe and find Stowaway. And to tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished the job by pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Burya did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away, and it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Wait, the captain who was in on the secret entrance? Or maybe... I guess maybe no, he wasn't. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? Yeah, okay, he says it was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, she thought he was gonna call Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? Uh-oh, she's angry. It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Yeah, okay, if he was going to pull the bell cord, he turns around, she pushes him. How does he end up with her earring? I feel like she's still telling Ed some lie. Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but... he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. We've been in this room for like 2 hours. Yeah, I was thinking he just grabbed at her while he fell, but it's also possible that it was more premeditated than she's letting on. I feel like I feel like if he was able to grab her ear, it was likely more premeditated than, like... Can we determine whether the young man's gaze... Can we determine whither the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. The cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night, when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama. Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manners of truth. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze. I feel like that's supposed to say off by even a little bit, but I don't know, I get it. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? The wardrobe, maybe? I feel like the wardrobe was probably what he was actually going for. I had already kind of... the wardrobe. My wardrobe. If only I hadn't eaten the chicken that was laced with the sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up. Well, that's what he was gonna do, I think. So I'm gonna present the wardrobe. Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however... Okay, so it's just the thing that I already assumed, the wardrobe, yeah. I already figured he wasn't going for the bell cord. He's like, I'm gonna ask my friend for advice on the matter. Like, he wasn't gonna ring the bell cord at all. She just saw that he was, because she didn't know there was somebody in the wardrobe. What is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more important, it doesn't really change the circumstances of the crime, though, I don't think. And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Ah! Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asagi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion from a friend. Another opinion, not the opinion of the whole goddamn crew. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Yeah, that's the tragic part about this, is that literally Kazuma also had a stowaway on board. There's no way they would have, like, they wouldn't have turned her in, but she freaked out and then did something stupid. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Because now she's actually gonna get arrested for murder. Or manslaughter? I don't know. I feel like she might go off. Regardless, she's getting arrested for something. Miss Pavlova. I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But, unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Burya. So he did grab the earring while he fell. We were 100% right on everything. The game just needed to take the time to clarify that he was probably going to let me out of the wardrobe, which is I had already assumed. Yeah, probably manslaughter. It wasn't premeditated in any way, and the info that lives up to is very clearly like desperate behavior. Like, she wasn't really even trying to push him to kill him. She just freaked out and pushed him, and he fell and broke his neck. Like, But still, she could have been just a stowaway, and if anything, probably been a successful stowaway. But yeah, she didn't necessarily have murderous intention, exactly. But yeah, manslaughter. Unfortunate. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she'd be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. Also, yeah, she probably shouldn't want to return because I feel like Britain is going to be nicer to her than Russia would be about this. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what, but I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. No more frickin' handcuffs, dude. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste. Right, but, well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Da! Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive at Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the council to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes, I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. It always hits harder in the Ace Attorney cases when the killer is like generally a nice person who did something either by accident or out of desperation and then like has to deal with the ramifications of it. There are some other cases that have done that before, and it's always very impactful. But yeah, hopefully she can get just manslaughter and doesn't get charged for murder, because it was not really cold-blooded. It wasn't even malicious, really. It was just like, oh, she's also like 15 or 14, so like very much not malicious, very much done on accident. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh. Susato-san. Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack, you know? Ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. I feel like our based bro Herlock Sholmes is gonna pull some strings and get me into that. Yeah, I don't think Susato and Naruhodo are really pressing like hard charges, so yeah. And she also is just a child. Like I don't know what the laws in turn of the century Britain were, but like she could potentially just be tried as a child rather than an adult. I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato-san. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible, but now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed. and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down, and I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. Why am I in handcuffs again? What? What? God dang it, Sholmes! Surprised, Mr. Naruhodo? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head I think I should always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway, after all. He thinks this is funny? Oh my god. Mr. Sholmes, we do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Man, everything that Kazuma and Ryunosuke are involved with is just, like, surrounded by death. First, that, like, the Department of Justice in Japan is gonna hear about this and be like, Kazuma died? What the hell? Like, so, truly, like, cursed. Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? And any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Does Holmes have a lawyer friend or something? Like, yes. Miss Susato, yes. Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Or we could just train me to be a lawyer. Like, I could just say I'm a lawyer. But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must do to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? I mean, he already, like, defended himself in court pretty well, so, like, if anybody can do it, it's him. And if by the time we reach Great Britain I haven't learned enough to be deemed a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma, he said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit, too. I'd make a kick-ass lawyer. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, no, no! It's madness! Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? The best kind of madness is always fascinating. Oh, fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest! Give us fascination! Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close friend, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. I would be delighted to help you. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo? I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Kuruma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But, before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you, too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. Huh? Sounds a little bit lewd. I don't know if I can... I'm assuming she means 3 Susato takedowns to make up for the 3 earlier. I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. Susato has a throw fetish, god. She can switch, I guess. Not yet. Not until she's legal. You just found me still. We're threading a dangerous line here. We're moving on. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. And not just once, but 5 times. Ha. That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. No, no, no. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observe. Why do I feel like he's gonna throw? Susato's like, what, like 16 or something? I don't, hold on. I think 16. She looks like, I don't know, she looks like she could be like 18, but I observed your throwing technique several, she's the same age Maya was in the first Ace Attorney. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. I swear, if he throws her, I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called the Susato Takedown. Leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguided. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. Please do not. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. Oh my god. Discombobulate. Dun 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 dun. Hold on. Fuck. Am I gonna pull up the song again? I am. Discombobulate. Discombobulate music. No, pizza ad. No. Batman Calzone. The hero of Pizza Night. The Batman Calzone. Thank you. You're here. You will appreciate this joke more than Alyssa did. Let me... Hold on. It doesn't match with the music. I'm turning the music off. I am somewhat an accomplished... But it's the same gesture that Robert Downey Jr. Oh my god. There he goes, dancing around again. Dun 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 dun. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Let's see if we can finish the case before this ends. Yes, I'd be honored. Oh my god. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. The VOD's about to get copyright stricken again. Because I can't not do this dumbass bit. First step, discombobulate. First step, throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Susato takedown, is it? Actually, no. That was a Susato squash. Oh my god. Is there a Susato discombobulate? VOD watchers skip the discombobulate bit. I said I would do this bit again, and I was not lying. In my groggy state of consciousness. A scene from an evening... Okay, wait. This is like a serious scene. Hold on. Kuruma. How long is the sword? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. VOD watchers skip the VOD. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. I didn't turn the music back on, but I don't care. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Kuruma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important I need to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing. I still don't know what that was. Okay, back to the song. In Great Britain's capital, London, while you were studying the art of detectiveness, I was studying the blade. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, perfect. It's the credits music in the movie, too. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, that concludes the stream, everyone. We finished that case. The Adventure of the Runaway Room. That's the next one. While you were studying the art of the blade, I was studying the art of discombobulate. Episode 3, Adventure of the Runaway Room.
Welcome aboard the Disney Bundle.
Huh?
Where
Oh
Disney
my
loves
god.
smooth
Okay, it's an.
movies.
I thought that was playing in the game. I was like, and then I heard "Welcome aboard," and I was like, "Welcome aboard." Is this case have like intro, like voice acting, like, "Ooh, welcome aboard the Runaway Room train," and then it was the fucking Disney bundle. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Stream over. That was a great. That was a great case. For those who don't know Ace Attorney, aka the, I don't think either of you have played much. I mean, Kirk, you've played a little of the first game, obviously, but like none of the mainline games have had the none of the mainline games have had a case where there's just only investigation. And in my opinion, that's always been there's always Casey, normally there's an investigation segment and then there's a trial segment where they go to court and like that's the stuff you see all the memes of. This is like the only case I've played where there was no court segment. And I feel like in any of the other Ace Attorney games, the previous ones, a case where they just removed the trial bit would not be fun, because that's always been a flaw of the series, I think, is that the investigation segments are not as fun as the trial segments. That's why I like the Professor Layton crossover, because the investigation segments are a little more fun because they have Layton puzzles, Layton mechanics in them. Uh but that just shows you the power of Herlock Sholmes and how good this game is. That a case based entirely around the investigation can be fun. Also, fuck the Disney bundle. Hold on. This is just
ESPN Plus come to life.
it's
Team
just
Wreck-It
fucking
will
Wreck-It
save
Ralph.
all your
It's
superheroes.
just Ralph Breaks the Internet. But an actual ad. They dropped all pretenses of it not being an ad and just made it an ad. Nothing fills me with more Disney hate than seeing the Disney bundle ad. Grubhub moment. It's literally the Disney bundle is just where Wreck-It Ralph canonically goes, and Ralph breaks the internet. I love the Herlock Sholmes segments that Ace Attorney uses. It's very doggers. All right, okay, we're actually cutting stream now. Let's close the game. Return to the title screen. Hold on. I need to turn the music back on. The title screen's just silent. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Also, I turn on the music and it started mid-song, so I guess turning the music off literally just mutes it, but it's like still playing in the files. Whatever. Random thing, but that's Select Adventures. Oh yeah, there's like 2 games apparently, which is cool. There's that one, and then never mind. We're just okay. Like I don't know how to go to the second game, but there's a second game in here. So I'm gonna play the first game, play the second game. Next time I stream this game, we'll be back with Case 3, which will hopefully not fall under the Case 3 curse of being bad. Not all the games have bad Case 3s, but a non-zero amount of them do. Anyway, I'm closing the game now, and I'm ending stream. Good night, everyone. Good stream. Good stream.